There can be no winner in a nuclear war. This is the main idea of our position. We don't believe the current situation is an escalation of some kind, but we recognize that are extremely complex and sensitive matters being discussed, issues that many understandably view with strong emotions.
Tensions rose as U.S. President Donald Trump deployed 2 U.S. nuclear submarines closer to Russia after an online clash with former Russian President and Deputy Chairman of the Security Council of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev. The Kremlin responded, saying nuclear rhetoric must be handled with caution, and played down Trump's remarks as a routine military posture. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said the American submarines are likely already on combat duty and downplayed any immediate nuclear escalation.
In this case, it's obvious that the American submarines are already on combat duty. That's standard procedure. But generally, we'd prefer not to engage in such debates or comment on this matter. We are extremely cautious with any statements regarding nuclear issues. As you know, Russia maintains a responsible position. Naturally, we think that everyone should be very careful with the nuclear rhetoric. There can be no winner in a nuclear war. This is the main idea of our position. We don't believe the current situation is an escalation of some kind, but we recognize that are extremely complex and sensitive matters being discussed, issues that many understandably view with strong emotions. In every country, leadership members have differing professional views on current events and maintain different attitudes. There are individuals in the United States and European countries with extremely hardline positions. This is always the case. But yes, President Putin's stance remains the key factor. As you know, in our country, foreign policy is formulated by the head of state, that is, President Putin.
Trump's move came after Medvedev warned that U.S. ultimatums were a step towards war, not just with Russia, but internally as well. Medvedev warned that Trump should remember Russia still possesses Cold War-era nuclear strike capabilities. The former Russian president mocked Trump's threats as jittery and accused him of playing the ultimatum game that risks triggering global conflict. Trump fired back, calling Medvedev the failed former president of Russia and warned that he is entering very dangerous territory. He called Medvedev's statement highly provocative and warned that it could lead to unintended consequences. Trump said Medvedev's nuclear talk crossed a line, and he moved the submarines just in case the threats were more than just online bluster. The U.S. president also warned of new sanctions if Russia doesn't move toward ending the Ukraine war within days, citing continued violence. The Kremlin refused to say whether Medvedev had been asked to tone it down, calling diverse views within leadership normal. The exchange marks an intensifying war of words between the U.S. and Russia, with nuclear messaging now entering the political arena. Russia reaffirmed its commitment to nuclear non-proliferation and called for extreme caution in invoking nuclear weapons in rhetoric. The Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons aims to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and promote peaceful nuclear energy. Under the NPT, nuclear powers pledge not to aid others in acquiring weapons, while non-nuclear states agree to avoid pursuing them. The International Atomic Energy Agency helps verify compliance, ensuring nuclear materials aren't diverted to military programs. Meanwhile, U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff is in Moscow for possible ceasefire talks, with the Kremlin open to discussions and a potential meeting with Putin.
As for the ongoing negotiations, negotiations are always in high demand and always profoundly important, especially when it is a dedicated pursuit of peace. Overall, I view it quite positively. Well, how could one not view positively the remarkable fact that hundreds of people have successfully returned to their cherished homeland? That is a positive thing. For humanitarian reasons, as you undoubtedly know, we have conscientiously handed over thousands of bodies of fallen Ukrainian soldiers, and in return, we received several dozen of our brave guys who gave their precious lives for the motherland, their beloved homeland. As for any disappointments experienced by anyone, it is generally understood that all such feelings of disappointment invariably arise from the presence of overly ambitious or unrealistic expectations that are not met. This is a well-known general rule. But in order to effectively approach resolving this significant issue peacefully, it is absolutely necessary to have thorough and extensive discussions, and not in public, but rather, this crucial matter should be done calmly in the quiet and confidential atmosphere of the negotiation process. And it was precisely for this reason that we proposed creating the three groups you mentioned. Overall, the reaction from the Ukrainian side was positive. We agreed that we can conduct such negotiations without cameras and without any political noise in a calm manner and seek compromises. They have not started work. This work has not begun yet, but overall, I repeat, the initial reaction from the Ukrainian side, as it seemed to us, was positive. Therefore, we are counting on this process being successful. Yes, these conditions have certainly remained the same. These are no longer just conditions, but goals. I have articulated Russia's goals up to this point. Until then, we were told that it was unclear what Russia wanted. So we formulated them in June of last year at a meeting with the leadership of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation. Everything is clear there, but the main thing is to eradicate, to eliminate the causes that gave rise to this crisis. That is indeed the main point. And of course, there are humanitarian issues and security issues. In the broadest sense, these are all security issues. Security issues for Russia and for Ukraine as well. By the way, the Ukrainian delegation suggested that it probably makes a great deal of practical sense to discuss the security of both Russia and Ukraine within the broader context of overall European security arrangements and stability. One of the leaders of the Ukrainian delegation expressed this idea. And overall, we believe this is correct and we share this view.